you know what, if I give it away for free and they get good value out of it, they're going to want to engage me personally. And so this particular blog landed me Ford Motor Corporation as a client. It's got me to Santiago, Chile. It's got me to Colombia, and more recently to Malaysia as well. All as a result of people listening to it and looking me up and connecting with me. And again, my cost is air over the gums, just talking, recording it and uploading it to my blog. And so these are the tools that are available to us today, and it's really leveling the playing field for independent entrepreneurs. So, quick story I'm going to share. We talk about Jay Levinson, who's a good mentor and friend of mine. He wrote the book Guerrilla Marketing, and him and I wrote a book together a couple years ago called Guerrilla Social Media Marketing. And one of my favorite lines from Jay, from a marketing perspective, is this simple: tell stories because stories aren't boring. Pretty simple. So tell stories because stories aren't boring. And it's about telling our brand story. And one of the great storytellers that I came across is Peter Cito. And what he does with Twitter, Peter's the CEO of ING Direct. You're either sharing what you're doing, what you're passionate about, something you found, what you're excited about, or you're often just interacting and talking to other people on that platform. And so literally it's just a constant stream of updates. Now, here's another example, or photos. So, and as Jasper just posted this morning, to Twitter. And again, and so it's a combination of various things where you're telling people what you're up to, you're asking questions, you're also building relationships. Hey, that was an awesome quote you shared. Loved your talk today. Hey, just quick question, how are things in wherever you're from, Brandon, Manitoba, and you post that question. And so from this perspective, this dialogue and these little updates and tweets don't seem to mean a lot, but again, over a long period of time, it tells a very solid brand story and it builds relationship. What do you tweet? It's a question people ask me. Okay, Shane, that's really great. I get it. You're telling your brand story. I sat down, I stared at my computer, it stared back at me. I don't know what to say. I've already told people I went for lunch, and I told them I was at the office, and I shared an article, and I'm out. I don't know what else to share. And so I think the important thing to realize is a Twitter stream or even a Facebook wall, what makes it work is like a normal conversation, that is contrast. If I'm just talking at you constantly, or just asking you questions, after a while you're like, man, this guy's interrogating me. But if I ask you questions, and then I tell a joke, then you ask me a question, and I share something personal, and then you share something personal, and what occurs is that's a nice contrast. When Twitter first launched, I'm going to admit it was easier to get followers than it is today, because there was no limitations, and you could game the system and all kinds of stuff, and people were just excited about it. But I hit 800 followers, and then I flatlined for months. And I realized the reason why was I was consistently inconsistent. I was excited one week and the next week I wasn't. Then I realized all I did one day is post quotes and just got people nauseated with leadership quotes because they didn't want to see 50 from me. And I realized that I needed to develop a strategy. Also so I don't spend too much time on it. Because if you're anything like me, I can get hyper-focused and I'm very social, and I could be in there for 2 hours and not realize it. And so what I did is I set an engagement goal, and I had a formula I built. 8 types of posts I did per day. That was my goal. I tried to stay away from, recent elected political officials, for instance. And so there's 2 things. Ideally, you've written a great blog post, or you've done something cool in your company and you want to share it. But if you don't have it, the other thing that people look to you for is to be a curator of good information based upon what your area of knowledge is. So, for me, that means I'm going to curate a really good article or find a great article on leadership or social media or sales that I'm going to post if I haven't written one that day. Is each day I post a social media tip, a leadership tip, and a sales tip off the top of my head. Really quick. And so, or today, for instance, when I was sitting back and watching the talk this morning, I was firing off a few quotes from the talk. And a retweet sounds like a very strange thing. What is that? Well, it's simply, I see your update, and I can click retweet, or I can share it and thank you. And what occurs is retweets do 2 things. It says to my followers that I'm not just pushing my content only. So each day I find another entrepreneur or a charity that I believe in, and I try to help promote their business using my Twitter account and our Facebook account. Connect with influencers. So I look for people in the community who influence hundreds or thousands of people in my target market, and I specifically reach out to them daily and make sure I get on their radar and interact, ask questions. And the best way to get noticed by an influencer is to become a fan and an advocate of theirs. So those are kind of my 8 steps, and this helped me really move from literally 800 to 3,000 and 5,000, and then sort of momentum took over. And so it was something that I did 5 days a week. I took Saturday and Sunday off and tweeted or didn't tweet. So blogging. So what's different about a blog? Number 1, think about a digital diary. You write down what you did the day and you post it. And that's it. And then you post another one and it pushes that one down. That's it. It's a chronological series of posts. It's the simplest way to describe it. What makes it different than a regular website is it typically isn't marketing speak or PR speak. It's more of a personal voice. Your blog should be used to do a couple things. Number one, allow your personal and organizational values to bleed through in a very human level. In addition to that, what it's going to do is, even if you talk about your products and services, you can do that, but you've got to talk about what's innovating and different and unique and the applications of it versus just the features. And so a blog is a very conversational storytelling tool for your brand. It's not a place to cut and paste press releases or product updates. People say, okay, I got a blog, what am I going to write about? Well, number one, how about brainstorm the top 20 questions customers and prospects asked? There's your first 20 blog posts. How about new product launches and features, but make sure that it's cool factor, it's fun, it's innovative, it's newsworthy. Your take on local news, maybe just something that's happening in the community and your spin on it as a thought leader. Your take on industry news, video, you or other people. Maybe you find a great video shot at this event by someone else on YouTube and you can embed it in your blog and talk about your experience. There's a post. Or you meet someone who's really engaging and insightful and passionate, and you say, you know what, that was a really good thing you said there. It really resonated with me about how to build community. You know what, would you mind, just for a quick video, quick 3 minutes, and all of a sudden now you've shot a video and you created a piece of content. And so something like that. A Twitter stream on a topic. There's a really cool tool I'm going to tell you about. It's free. It's called Storify.com. And it also means you don't have to write stuff all the time. So I can send you 3 questions about entrepreneurship if you don't mind, because of your subject matter expert. I'll email it to you. You fill out quick answer. Don't make them fill out 12, because he'll just tell me, Shane, I'm not writing you a book. But if I do 3, you'll often fill them out. I've got my blog post. Don't fall in love with any of these tools. Fall in love with your customers. And if at all possible, try to use the internet to get off the internet as soon as possible. It's not about spending all day on there, just tweeting away. Your end goal is to meet people, make connections, and build relationships. Thank you very much.